Hey guys, thanks for coming to my channel to check out this video. Last week, if you missed it, I set up the beginning of my October month in my bullet journal, and it's the theme of Oman because it starts with O. It was the only country starting with O, and so now I'm continuing that setup in my weeklies. So for the first weekly spread, I decided to do a drawing that made me think of the very first thing I thought of with Oman actually, which is the desert. So I really wanted to include a lot of sand dunes and desert in this setup, and it turns out I've done quite minimal amounts of desert. So I definitely wanted to try and showcase that a bit in this first spread. So this desert is, I mean, it could be any, but the one I worked from and that I looked at a lot of imagery for was the Wahiba sands. Beautiful sand dunes. What you do there is you ride camels and you do lots of dune bashing, and it's a great place to experience the desert camping as well. They do a lot of tours like that involve the Omani Bedouin tribes as well. Now in terms of how I was going to present this, I didn't really want to have just a plain desert on there, so I tried to think around what I would like to see there that would inspire me. And I found also that doors, Omani doors, are quite a thing in Oman. So the doors are like the entry to the house, and so they believe it should make a statement. So there's a lot of beautiful decorative doors around, and so I thought it would be kind of strange but unique to put a set of doors right in the middle of the desert. And so I pictured myself or someone traveling through the desert and just coming upon this set of doors that leads to nowhere, or just leads to more sand. So I was kind of going for that sort of vibe. So I just colored it in with pencils. But to be honest, I kind of wish I didn't color it. As you know, I really like my black and gold themes, and I wanted to add color for this because it just felt like it was lacking something with just the simple sand dunes. So although I don't love the color, I love the content of this page. And so yeah, I just tried to do it up with a little bit of washi tape and add some gold here and there just to make it feel a little bit better. And now we're moving on to the next weekly spread. Now this one, I wanted to focus on the very famous market scene that's in Oman, which is, all the souks that they have throughout there. There's many of them. The one that I read about the most was the Mattrah Souk, which is in Muscat. And they're just famous for the pottery there, the jewelry, all these handmade artisan crafts. So I wanted to try and capture some of that. I was going to draw a scene from one of the markets, but that was just going to be way too much detail to put into it, because it was going to be, alleyways of products and people in through the markets. So I didn't have enough motivation to do all of that on a weekly spread. I felt like it was a little bit too much. So I wanted to pull it back and just do a few elements that you would find in a market in Oman. So that is pottery for me, and I found these awesome hanging pots. So I've drawn those on there, and then I've also drawn a bunch of baskets that are woven out of palm and date tree leaves, I believe. So that would be interesting to see how they actually make these amazing baskets out of that. Very tightly woven, and yeah, they're really pretty and unique. Lots of different colors through them and different shapes. So they were interesting. So I wanted to draw them on the page as well. And I've kept this spread very simple, just with the fine liner, and then of course my gold, and then just a little bit of peach. It did feel a bit too blank, so I've added some peach in a texture, like a Faber-Castell marker, and then that finished this one off. But I do feel like this, in comparison with the others, is very minimal. So if you're going for something basic in your journal, this is probably what I would do mostly. Of course, I can never keep to just completely minimal, so we'll see what I do in the next pages that will improve that for me. I always love doing a cursive font using that calligraphy marker. I just think it makes the whole spread come to life. It's just not a simple bit of text. It's kind of this cursive, pretty thing, and it just makes me happy doing that calligraphy part. And this is how this page turned out. And then we're moving on to week 3. Now this next spread, I wanted to try and showcase one of the many forts in Oman. There is actually over 1,000 forts I read, which just is mind-boggling. The one that is the most popular, or at least the one that I read most about, is the Nakhal fort, which is the one I'm drawing here. Basically looks like a giant sandcastle. Reminded me a lot of one that I drew in my Jordan setup back in July. Or was it June? No, it was July. And yeah, so this actual fort was built around a rock structure, so a natural rock, and they decided to, well, the architects who engineered this decided to create it around this rock rather than sort of designing it separately, which I found very interesting. And actually the rock becomes part of the structure itself, which was quite unique. So I thought I'd draw this, and it sort of looks out onto a massive orchard of palm trees, and I wanted to do those all in gold. So I've kept this spread very minimal in the colours, just used a grey fine liner, a black fine liner, and the gold pen. Oh, and this fort actually hosts a weekly goat market, which I'm guessing is where you buy your goats. I don't really know. If anyone knows what a goat market is, please share that with me. And it also has a museum in it full of historic guns, which I found interesting because something I've learned as well about Oman is that their crime rate is extremely low, like really low, as in safest, or one of the top 5 safest countries. I think they're number 4 on the safest countries to visit, which I thought was really cool because my whole theme is this lone woman traveler. So it's nice to think that this is actually, Oman is actually a place that solo women travelers could start their adventure in. So that kind of worked really nicely for my traveling girl. Oh, here on this page I actually made an error at the top, and I thought I would point out how easy it is to fix something like that in a bullet journal if you weren't aware of it. I just had like a sticky white adhesive sticker, just stuck it over the top and then drew over it when I realized I had failed in coloring the wrong color. Just thought I would share that little tip. And now we're on to the final page of the weekly setup. Oh, and I decided here that I loved the washi tape that I added on this last page, so I went back and added it to those other pages. It's just this gorgeous washi tape that I got from the washi tape shop. If you really like those ones that I use, I'll leave the link to them down in the description box. They're just beautiful designs, and they've all got this beautiful gold foil on them. Or gilded, I think they call it, gilded gold, something like that. Anyway, it's beautiful, and I put it on to this final page, and I think it just really brought the whole spread to life. Now on this page I'm doing a drawing of a very fancy hotel called the Chedi in Muscat, and this is home to the longest swimming pool in the Middle East. It's 103 meters long and looks amazing because it's lined by these palm trees, and there's a restaurant that just sits right in front of it where you can eat Japanese and Asian cuisine, as well as your Arabic seafood that they're famous for. It just looks incredible. So I thought I would draw this here, and I wanted to keep it in my black and gold, but just with a hint of that aqua that I used in the first page, also matching my nails. All intentional, you see. And now I'm just filling in the palm trees in my gold pen, which just finishes off this spread, I think, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I think this page is my favorite with this setup. I think it just added so much with that washi tape, and then maybe it's the way the image is framed, like your eyes just dragged to the center of that waterfall, and in the distance is the ocean. I love it. And that is the end of our weekly setups for October. I hope you liked those. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like, a thumbs up. That would really help me out. And if you'd like to see more of my bullet journey, just hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can be told when my videos go live. And now I'm asking for your help in choosing next month's bullet journal country. I need the countries starting with N. There was a heap to choose from, and I've narrowed it down to 3 choices. They are the Netherlands, Norway, or New Zealand. So pop your vote for what country you'd like to see in the comments section down below, and I will reveal which one is the winner in next week's video, the sketchbook. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.